Welcome to another culture-rich episode of the No Limits Life podcast, where passion meets purpose and creativity becomes community. I'm Nordine, your host, and my co-host, Ken. Today's guest is a legend in the world of live music and cultural innovation. When you use your passion to build connection, you create a legacy that outlives the applause. For over 3 decades, David Slutes has helped define...
Slutes sounds so much better.
True story.
David Slutes has helped define and elevate Tucson's entertainment landscape. As the longtime entertainment director of Hotel Congress, he's been the visionary behind more than 1,200 annual events and iconic festivals like HoCo
Fest, yeah.
SAAMHA and Dillinger Days. Yes, his work has helped shape Tucson into a hub for vibrant, community-focused musical experiences. Beyond producing shows, David is a musician himself, giving him an authentic and deeply personal connection to the artists and audience he serves. He's now opening a new performance venue in Tucson called Rosa and serves as president of SAAMHA, the Southern Arizona Artists and Musician Healthcare
Alliance,
a nonprofit helping artists access essential healthcare resources. Please welcome a trailblazer in arts, culture, and community, David Slutes.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
So you were going to say something about, you had a story about Slutes?
Oh, yeah. So quickly, the name, we've been around for, the Slutses have been since, Alexander Hamilton's. We came across, we signed the Declaration of Independence. But Slutes is S-L-U-T-Z originally. Pronounced Slutes.
German.
But if you look at it, it doesn't look like Slutes. So my grandmother, when she divorced my grandfather, at least decided to give herself a phonetic fighting chance and moved an E and S, like rhyme with flutes. So it's just Slutes, which is my current spelling. So it's S-L-U-T. But people aren't necessarily great English majors, and they still see the S-L-U-T. So my children, with much encouraging from my wife, we've moved the E on the other side of the T, so it's S-L-U-E-T-S. So it's impossible to say anything but Slutes.
Slutes. Like
On this
it.
note, David, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's begin with today's quote. When you use your passion to build connection, you create a legacy that outlives the applause. How does that sentiment reflect your journey through music, performance, and community building?
It's sort of my life mission, isn't it? I mean, how we put together being passionate about what you do and community building. I think everything you do, everything I do, at least personally, has been with people, with collaboration, with bringing pieces together. And we found that even as a solo musician writing songs, I like to collaborate and bring things together. And I love people. And if you love people, if you listen to people, if you talk to people, and you have that community and that collaboration, you can only win. And I love the win-win for everybody.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you mentioned helping people, loving people, listening to people. The guest we had earlier, we were talking about listening versus hearing. I'd like to ask you this question about, you mentioned love people. Mm-hmm. I want you to give me your definition of loving people, because it's a hard thing to do.
Well, it is it. I mean, to me, I love everybody. My wife sometimes says to a fault, but everyone brings something to the table. Every single person. I don't care who it is. And if you open up and just listen for a few seconds, you're going to get something. And it's almost a selfish thing, because I am a collaborative person. Everything I've done is collaborating. And when you collaborate and you listen to somebody, you get stuff. You have new perspectives, you get new vision, you get to grow something from that. And so I love that, and I love that. That's where the love comes from.
First, when you were introduced to me earlier, I felt that energy, And what I'm trying to do right now is to get this deep definition that otherwise wouldn't be in the books, but your own definition of loving people. Again, I'm going to get that out of you.
Good. Help me. This is week
therapy. Because it's always good and nice to hear I love people, but do we? Do we all the time? Do we love people all the time? So I think what you're referring to is the person themselves that you love. They're that being that you love. You don't love or necessarily love what they do or their behavior. If somebody is behaving like a jerk to you, you're not loving that person. So what I want you to tell me is that when you say, I love people, I want you to describe that to me.
Well, for me, it's going in with, ultimately, I don't know what brought them to me. I do know that and what I've learned is that they've earned my respect for just getting to me at that point. Mm-hmm. And that respect allows me to at least listen to them for a second and love them as a human who's been on their own journey their entire life. And I know it's going to bring something to me, and I hope I bring something to them. And it really comes down to that key point of listening. And it really is. If you'd listen for 2 seconds, and my biggest challenge always is interrupting people because I get so excited about what they're saying, I'll jump right over them. But I do love, and how do you not love somebody once you start hearing their depth?
So I think, it's fair to say that you love their essence.
Yeah, I think so. The very humanity.
The being, we have 2 parts. We are humans and we are beings.
That's right.
We say we are human beings. I say we are humans. We do a lot of things that are human, but we are intrinsically beings who feel. So we love unconditionally the being, but I don't really care about the ego of the person when they behave like jerks. And that's what I meant by saying it's a hard thing to love. It is a hard thing to love with ego.
Correct.
It's an easy thing to love with heart. When you connect with your heart and the heart of another a human being, you love, no matter what. But if there's a battle of egos, there's no love there.
No.
Because ego is driven by fear.
Fear.
Okay? The ego is driven by wanting things and wanting to be right. If you don't deliver wanting or things that the ego wants, if you don't deliver a victory to the ego is not satisfied, and it translates into anger, frustration, anxiety, and the like. So that's when you said that, because I know what I feel, okay? When you said, I love people, I wanted you to tell us what that meant. And I think what you are saying is that you love the essence first of the person, and you're willing to listen to the person, whatever they're saying to you, and then maybe correct them, maybe put them on the right path, but don't fight them.
100%. Again, everybody has something to offer. I'll challenge anyone to tell me someone doesn't have something to offer. And to your point about the ego, I think about that quite a bit, and the fear of that. And that's why I tell everyone I work with and everyone works for me, I said, I don't care if you fail. Failure is the greatest thing. Failure is an option because there's no better learning. Don't let your ego scare you away.
Failure and success are the 2 sides of the same coin.
100%. You have to have one to have the other. But people fear failure so much that they won't do the thing they really want to do. And that's, I love failing.
I think, it's if you haven't failed once, you haven't succeeded at all.
Yeah.
So I think the definition for me of success is allowing yourself to be okay, embracing failure.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's, to me, success in itself.
Okay, I have a question for you. So, to me, as an entertainer, you have an entertainer side. I don't know if everybody knows that, but you lead singer.
That's right.
Yeah. Sand Rubies.
Yeah.
Sidewinders.
Yeah.
That's very cool. But I guess where I'm going with this is you have to put, with your art, you have to put yourself, and you're the lead person in front of strange faces you've never 100%. Even seen before, right? So you're totally opening yourself up to that audience, and you're risking, are they going to like me? Are they going to hate me? Are they going to boo me off the stage? Or are they going to clap at the end? So I guess my question is, you have that experience of that, which is amazing, and then you also have this amazing experience of running now a major venue in Tucson. Which was Congress. I'll let you tell the folks what you're doing now. But last year I was bragging about you, I think just yesterday, and I said, yeah, he does so many concerts. I think last year he did like 350 concerts. But how many concerts did you really do last year?
We counted all the events was 1,251 events we put on, and and the countless artists and people you work with over those things. It's wonderful.
So it's an average of 4 a day.
That's what it ended up being.
That's crazy.
4 days. Yeah.
So how does your experience of being on stage and running a venue help you make a venue successful?
Well, you can't be a wallflower, for one thing. You have to be able to engage in people all the time. One thing about what you bring up about getting on stage, not only we're on stage, we're writing, I wrote my own songs and all that. That's a very personal thing. And I realized very early, I love the idea of it, and I'm sort of naively go into these things. Yet to get on stage and be this person that's not, I realized I had to do the fake it till you make it. I had to be... And to get me on stage initially, I had to do an impersonation of myself. But it wasn't me, but an impersonation of myself that I thought could be that person. This is who you want to be. I'm not that guy. I'm too scared to be that guy. So I made this impersonation. And pretty soon that person and my real self started becoming the same person. And it was a wonderful thing. And it sort of built this careful confidence that I got.
So you had a vision who you wanted to be, and then you became that person.
You use visualization.
100%. And it was absolutely everything. I tell this to everyone. It's like the fake it till you make it bit, I'm 100% behind.
Yeah, the brain doesn't recognize the real and the imaginary.
Well, so we're not born as this.
Everything we do, everything we do and we see beforehand, before it even happens, is actually what's going to happen if you do everything that needs to be done. So it's not, only seeing things or, you becoming what you want to become, but the action plan.
That's right.
So see it, feel it, and manifest it. But that's all good and said, right? But there is an actual plan that needs to be executed.
Then you got to execute the plan.
Exactly.
And I tell people, what can go on this is a fun conversation. I love talking about this. And I tell everyone, it said, yes, follow your passions, but be passionate about everything and know you're going to have to work 10 times harder than you ever thought you would, but you're going to enjoy the process doing it. And it's like, that sounds like raising children. If they'd told me what I was going to get into on that, I would have, but it's the greatest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. In passion, you're going to appreciate the following. When people say passion, they're referring to many passions. Having one passion doesn't really exist. There's a big passion and then the mini passions that get you to the big passion. Those things that you're excited about doing that lead you to the big prize, right?
That's right. And going back to your point about how did that translate to doing all this in what it seems like a lot of stuff, putting on 1,250 events.
I've never heard of anybody doing that before.
Well,
one person.
Well, you get people to help you, but it also means guiding. That vision has to transfer through everything you do, which means you have to be able to very clearly describe what we're trying to achieve and have that ultimate mission statement up there at
exactly.
top. You really, if you answer always to that. And I always believe in any business I get into, get your mission statement together and believe it and work-shed it.
The big price.
Because then, if you don't know the answer, what will that tell you?
And that leads me to think about this. When we coach, and whether it's life coaching, high performance coaching, fitness, wellness. Example: somebody who wants to lose 100 pounds, and what do they think about? They think about the work that needs to be done, the grueling work, the diet they need to follow. They give up or they don't even start because they think about the how.
Yeah.
You need to think about the what and the why. Why are you doing what you want to achieve? Why are you doing? If the why is big enough, then the what, you can see it.
Now, it'll follow right on.
Now, when you have these two, everything, the how would present itself to you because that's how we are made. That's how our brain functions. Okay. The grand prize, the mission statement. Know why you're doing it, and what is it that you want to achieve. And then put the action plan and walk the talk, execute. It's just a matter of time you get there. And even if the action plan is not the appropriate one, you're going to waste time, but you're still going to get there because you're going to learn from your mistakes.
Bingo.
So you learn from your mistakes. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no bad choice or good choice. They're both going to get you to where you need to be at.
That's my world vision right there.
Yeah, the only difference is that when it's not the correct plan, it takes you longer. If it's the right things that you're doing, it takes you there faster.
But think about all the things you learned on that other road to get you there. Because then when you get on the right path, you've already made those mistakes.
And sometimes, David, sometimes the mistake that we make during that plan while we're executing is going to change the what.
100%.
Because we now know that, oh my God, there's a bigger thing I can do because I learned from my mistake. And then you go back to that mission statement and you correct it.
So I know you mentioned, at the very beginning we talked about SAAMHA. Yeah. And you're president of SAAMHA.
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 It's another, sorry, I keep giving you things that are insanely hard to do.
Slutes.
Yeah.
SAAMHA. Okay, so you're championing healthcare for artists.
Right.
Why is that so important to you?
Well, all the people I've dealt with in my life, and here's the thing. I was raised in this little small music community. I idolized as a teenager all these great musicians. I'd go to shows. It was exciting. This is for me. I never expected to go big, but I then got into a band. I was supported by a lot of people, got to play shows. Next thing you know, we have a record contract at RCA, and we're off and running, doing this whole thing. And my role at Congress and my role as SAAMHA sort of answer the same thing. I would just want to give back and nurture this community as best I can.
The entertainment community.
The entertainment community, the artist community. I think it's the greatest part of civilization is what we can create in the art we make.
But is it because you understand them? Like because you are one of them?
I presume so. I obviously have an affinity for it, and I love the creative process. Those people are very attractive to me. I love being around that crazy energy. I love the fact that musicians can be from any walk of life, any color, creed, age. Everyone can create music, and it's wonderful. It's completely an even tabula rasa with everyone. But I go back and think about, when I was coming up through this thing, and we'd lose that musician here or something there. I go, God, what can we do to make sure the health of this community is supported by the individual health of its people? And this sort of became the mission of this thing. And so we created this organization which was able to do advocacy, find emergency funding to people, get them to the resources, and it was great. We helped a lot of people. It's been
is some of it behavioral health?
100%.
When I see health, I think of healthy body, but a lot with artists, I don't know why it is that way with artists.
And I think this is my next question to you, Dave, and I'm sure that you're going to give us a poignant and a very emotionally driven answer. You mentioned creativity, and a lot of people I worked with, whether they are musicians or celebrities, movies, actors, and they have one thing in common. That part of the brain that is responsible for creativity is also responsible for creating anxiety. When they're not busy creating the good thing, they're busy creating the bad thing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, I've witnessed. I've witnessed it firsthand with so many. We all think we feel that way.
Sure.
To touch base in creativity is to touch things deeper in you. You're trying to find that ineffable thing you can't reach. And to do that, you have to open yourself up. If you're really a creative person, you have to open yourself up. And how do you protect yourself? And where do you close yourself off? And by opening yourself up and being a truly creative person, you're opening your shields are down, and things can affect you. And within that, some of the most creative people in the world are the most depressive, scared, suicidal. drug needing because their inputs coming in.
In order to be that creative and deliver something that is, deep. Yeah. That is,
and that's the way they think they can get to it, or that's the only way they know they can get to it. And they don't have a choice.
Passion feeds their soul.
Yeah.
And when they're not busy with that passion, when they're not busy creating art, that's where they go. With that part of themselves that is almost self-destructive, And in order not to get there, you almost have to be 100% in your field, 100% in your creative mind.
The flow.
The flow, exactly. That's what I was looking for. The flow is what allows people to stay constantly, in that state of being that is happiness.
Yeah.
Okay. When we break that flow and we don't have anything to be or do, then it's easy to fall back into that chaotic.
It's so true.
Mindset.
And true. The flow is the holy grail for any creative person, for anybody in any field. In my mind, it's getting the flow is
David. It's so interesting you say that because whether in competition, where you have to at the level where I was, there's a grueling preparation for at least a year and. And then for 3 minutes of glory on stage. It's not so much the glory that I was doing it for, but for the work. Sure. I remember working with Sugar Ray Leonard, world champion boxing.
Familiar with him.
And I asked him, would you do it if there was no money involved? And he said, absolutely. And I said, why? He said, because it's not so much getting on top, but what you do between where you were and when you're getting to that top. That's the journey, and that's what I would do. So it's remembering why we're doing this for, and for me, it's like almost a vacuum when I write and I'm completely in the flow. I mean, it becomes effortless, almost. And I'm writing. From the minute I start, that what we call mental or verbal vomit on paper, and then to organizing your book, writing the chapters and delivering the book, and the book is published, there's a tremendous amount of flow that goes and work. But then after that, you better get busy because if you don't, guess what?
Bad habits.
Anxiety starts, creeping in. It's like almost like a drops of water on the wall, and there's like little, what do you call them? Cracks. The water will go in the crack.
It'll find its way in there.
Yes, until you fix that crack. But the water was going to look for other cracks. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't allow the cracks. Get busy. Create. And when you're done with your creation, create again.
100%. And you build on that because if you're successful at creation, you want to do it again. You want to keep doing it again. Build on the successes. So everything you said resonated very deeply with me right there. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would. Yeah. David, I wanted to mention something. You're now launching a new venue, La Rosa.
That's right.
What inspired this new chapter, and how does it reflect with the evolution of Tucson's music?
Well, I've had the wonderful career as a musician. I've had a wonderful career as this entertainment director of this really well-known place in this area. Has 3 venues. We built so much out of it. But now, it's a third act. I was looking for something that could be the right size, where we could do the right kind of art in a beautiful space. And we found this wonderful old church, which it can be the perfect size venue to do all these amazing events. Here in Tucson. And my partner, who is also a venue person from Phoenix, he's done some wonderful things up there and has the right mindset. It's always about the artists and always about the guest experience. And it's like, this is it. This is the final. We can put all our energies into this. We're going to have a nonprofit as part of it. We really want to do great things in this one great space. And so put all my I'll do only 300 events of the year, and really focus. Yeah, so we're excited about it. It's. I've always wanted something to have this perfect size where you can get big artists to do small things and raise up little artists and have a wide variety of events. And it's really exciting to me to do it.
Staying in the flow.
Stay in the flow. I tell you, we for the 4 months, we're between leaving my last thing to get this started. I was sitting there flowless. And once we started doing this again and I started talking to the artists again, I'm the happiest guy in the world.
You said it, flowless, where fear creeps in.
Yeah, you just, what's going on?
Oh my God, what's next? David, thank you. Thank you for your dedication to the music and to the people and to the city of Tucson. Your journey reminds us that true creativity is about lifting others up. Thank you so much. Thank
you. I loved hearing about your passion for music and the community, a lot of the community is really important. It's really nice to hear that, how you're serving the community. Yeah. And I know the community appreciates it. We need more people like you. If you're watching this or listening to it, please share, subscribe, or like. And we appreciate you joining us today with David Slutes and Nordine. Have a good day.